Hello to anyone, the topic is reliable support and resistance levels combined with the RSI indicator. Sounds tricky, huh? Really easy to understand, hard to follow, so let me add some details and make it more clear. Sounds tricky but also interesting. Nevertheless, it's really easy to understand but it's hard to follow in today's erratic market, so let me make it more clear in the next 5 minutes. Wow, what a spike! Whoa. What we see is another opportunity to buy, obviously. What we see here, a potential triangle. Let me zoom out. ABC correction, we can call this wave A. From here to here, this is A. And B is from here to here down. And C is coming up. Really, how we can add a tight stop loss, which won't be hit? We can do that by looking on the graph, on 5-minute graph or 30-minute graph, let's say, is just cross the line. And since we have this opportunity, how we can monitor and how we can, if we add some stops here, I mean, it's just cross the line, we're coming in and adding some stops just below that area, right? So here we are. RSI is an oscillator for which is considered for being oversold when it's crossing the bottom line or overbought when it's above the upper line. We see this up. So unfortunately we cannot rely only on that, but it can add a small detail which will open your mind for a variety of positions on different instruments by using it. Let's first define the main trend direction. Here we see a long consolidation, and if we click on daily graph we see that it's really a long consolidation over that area, so it can be considered a strong support line which is still holding. In the same time we see a triangle. If we go back to 30-minute graph, we obviously see a triangle forming around here, and last night it just hit it one of the worst possible lines here and come back again, so we can consider that there is a potential upper trend. Next we wait for the RSI to fall under the bottom line, which is here, and we also see this line which I draw like a support line on the RSI, which is a common thing to happen. Like for example here we can see another. So the idea is that we got this triangle hitting this line, and this is kind of overlapping confirmation by the triangle and the RSI indication. In the same time, the big consolidation which we saw around this area sounds good, looks good. The next one is that we are drawing this line, for example, bottom line of the triangle. So after that, it just hit it. The RSI indicator was below the bottom line. So after we saw that indicator is below the bottom line, let's zoom out on 5-minute graph. And what we see on 5-minute graph, we could be a little more precise. So it actually indicates that this area was below the bottom line, right? So what I suggest usually is not to buy on the first wave, which can be considered as oversold, but we're also waiting for a support and resistance line which is stronger and which is a part of the triangle pattern. After confirmation from the RSI, we're looking for support and resistance line. An upper trend is formed, and here it crossed again the bottom line, but in the same time we see an upper trend because the second wave. So what we see here is that the RSI was crossed the bottom line. In the same time we're waiting for a support and resistance level, which we can consider this one as a good one, and we see that RSI is going up and up, and the next crossing line below is actually below this one, but in the same time it's forming an upper trend. The trend is getting weaker and weaker in this direction, and we see how the volume is passing by, coming weak. Trend is forming and reversing. Then we find this bottom line, I mean the support and resistance one. We can draw another one, catch this level here also, go back to 5-minute graph again. What we see is an RSI which was cross the line here, We found this support and resistance line which is around the bottom of the pattern, which we can consider as this level here on 30-minute graph. Since it's a 30-minute graph, the 30-minute graph, when it actually crossed the bottom line of 30-minute graph, it's a good indication that longer than on 5-minute graph, and then crossing the bottom line on 5-minute graph. And here we got an upward trend considered by the RSI indicator. In the same time, it just crossed again the price, which was considered by bottom from the indicator RSI. Good support and resistance line, which can be considered as this one. Pull the line around this level. If we pull the line on 1 hour, can be considered as a strong support and resistance level, since piercing all the tops around this level. So that's the idea. We are not buying on the first spike, but we are waiting for second and find a reliable support and resistance line. The last one, for example, is a good idea. Thank you for watching, and the next time I will be more detailed about why I'm doing that. I will give you more transparency, so please click the subscribe button, click the bell, and I will come to you with more detailed